Hold on.
Yeah, it just went through.
Okay. All right. I always got to mute the video on my end so it doesn't start talking while I'm talking. But yeah, so like you said, it's just finding the strategy that works for you. And it all depends on how you're trading too. So especially if you're day trading. So if you're day trading, it's about discipline. It's being able to get in and get out, you know.
Yes.
And cash goals are easy too, because cash goals, when you see the P&L going up and down, as soon as you hit your goal, you sell out. What's hard about that is when you have a certain amount that goes up, right? And then you say you see $500, right? But then all of a sudden it starts going down and you're like, oh shit, I want that $500 back. So
yeah,
you're
exactly.
get to that 500. And that's the psychology. That's where it messes us up, because
exactly.
a lot of times it never goes back to that 500.
That's correct. And that's what used to get me all the time. And I had to condition myself that it's better to get 475 back than watch it go to 100, because getting the 475, you could actually re-enter at another entry point and probably get it for 350 and build it back up.
Exactly. Yeah.
So.
And that's all the lessons, and that takes experience, you know. So there could be someone in here listening all day to us, or watching hundreds of videos, but that takes experience.
Yes.
And that takes for you to lose in order to see how you can win. Right?
That's correct. Correct.
Yeah.
So when you come back harder, and
that's right.
More cautious with more planning.
Because you learn. Exactly. And it's all about strategy. It's all about strategy. It's the way because remember, depending on how you trade is different. Like for me, for instance, if I want to just go out for a few months, that is a whole different strategy versus only taking a few days, right?
Yes.
Or doing a day-to-day trade. Because when you do a day-to-day trade, you're only looking for like a $2 move. So you're looking for your support and resistance on your lower time frames. Versus if you're going to go out a couple days and say, there's a flag and it's a bullish flag and you want to go from the bottom of the flag back to the top of the flag. It may take a couple days to get to the top of the flag if that's your goal, right?
Yes.
Versus if you're going out further and it's a rectangle that you're trading and you want to go from the bottom of the rectangle to the top of the rectangle, that could take a few months, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Because sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
No, I said I had an example with PayPal, right? I saw PayPal was kind of ready to make a move. So last week I bought a contract, but I bought it out to this Friday. And it was a small one because I'm just doing little contracts. Right. So Monday, when I looked, you see how the market was yesterday, right? So that was yesterday. So when I looked and I was like, I'm not getting caught. Like the contract I bought was $24, right? Yeah. And it went down to I think $16, and I was like, okay, I'm getting the heck out of there. But then in the next 5 minutes, it was $21. But then it went between 21 and 24 bucks. And I said, you know what? By the fifth time, the next time it goes $24, I'm out of this market. And I kid you not, Desiree, as soon as I took off the $24, so I didn't lose anything, that stinking contract went to $75.
Oh, wow. And that happens a lot, but
I was so mad.
Yeah. Was that out of the money contract? Was that out of the money?
It wasn't, well, yes, it was, but it wasn't too much. It was probably like $4 out of the money. Right. And but my point is that it wasn't expiring till Friday. Yesterday was just Monday. I could have probably waited, but I was out so early. I was out probably by 9:30 something, or 10 o'clock. And if I had just waited like another 10 minutes,
and that's the thing with trading too. Like sometimes you get out too early, right? And then And then because you don't want to, because you get a little bit and you're like, oh shoot, I don't want to lose what I have already. And then
That's correct.
sometimes when you're down, it's like you hold it too long, right? And that's like the psychology is we have to let the runners run, and then the losers, we got to be impatient with them. And
Yes.
we have to kind of like train our mind to that. So, and for you, you know, because you want to be, I mean, you don't want to let your contract sit in the market when you're not available to watch it either.
Exactly.
So if you did get out and break even, that's actually good, because what if it would have turned on you, right? It
And
doesn't
that's what I
always
said.
run, right?
Yeah.
But that's actually a win, because you were disciplined enough to say, you know what, this is not moving in the direction that I want quick enough. Let me get out and break even, versus losing it all, you know?
And it went up by $3. I'm like, are you serious, PayPal, right now?
That's hilarious. I know that feeling. I know that feeling. Yes, I was really bad. And this is why I lost so much money, like in the beginning of my trading.
Yeah.
I was so bad at letting the losers run. I would literally watch the losers go down.
Yes, me go to zero, expire with like, because I refuse. I'm so bullheaded. I'm like, no, you have to turn around.
Oh man. And it's like it's a show. You're just watching your money go down. Like,
Yes.
you're not doing nothing about it, just watching it.
And then it gets too late and you're like, what have I done? But if you've lost so much, you might as just well let it. That's what I tell myself. Might as well let it. It don't make sense.
You already accepted it once you're halfway down.
Yes.
That's too funny. All right, so let's go ahead and share screen here. And let's talk about today. Now, so with this, we talked about this double pattern, this double bottom pattern probably forming, but I was looking at it, at least touching back to 435.
Yeah.
But we have a lot of strength here, you know, in the bulls right now. And the way, like this day here, remember when I'm like, oh, we have some bearish sentiment, it was kind of, but even though we had bearish sentiment this day, you can see how we opened up below this level here, this resistance level. And I think Lionel was in on that morning, and he was like, well, what if it goes up even though it opened below? And remember, I was like, well, a lot of times it may fake you out and then come back down, right?
Yes.
And that's exactly what it did. And when I seen this wick, I seen sellers trying to push it back down, but the bulls are so strong. So to see this the following day, what this is telling me is that the bulls are really heavy. The bulls are very strong, because this here is the bears trying to push it down. This is the bulls bringing it up, and this is the bears saying, boom, coming back down and pushing it, right? Where they want to try to come in. And when I say the candles, you can see the candles, and it's kind of like a tug of war move. You can see the tug of war here. You can see bears, you can see bulls pushing it up, bears bringing it back down, and then bulls coming back in, right? Because you can even see here that yesterday they closed above this level here, which once it closed below here, this became the new resistance. And then this was the support. But you can see it opened up, pushed past this resistance level, and now they're right here. And I was looking, I was looking at the charts earlier this morning, and I see bullish momentum. You know what I mean? I really do see bullish momentum. And look at this here. This is a low. This is a higher low. This is kind of a double bottom pattern. We're back above this level here. So now this is new support, and this is resistance. Now we are coming back on a very strong resistance, which is up here around like the 443 area. Yeah. But if you go back to the weekly here, you can see that the flag, this is a bullish flag. So they're still in this pattern here, this bullish, this just consolidate in between this flag, and it appears that they want to hold it, because you had this pole here, you had some consolidation, you had the breakout, now you're having some consolidation again, and all this is telling me is that we're just holding.
Yeah, they want to keep going.
Yeah, and remember, our next target is the 454 area.
Yes.
So we're talking about once this pattern breaks, we get to the 454 area, and then that's when you got to watch out. That's when you got to watch out. And I generally don't play puts because it's fast and lose really quickly. But I'm really contemplating on taking some contracts at this level because it is a good opportunity, to get in here, because I feel like it's going to be a nice little pullback once we get around this area here. Okay, so let's go back to the daily here. All right, so this is where we're at on the daily. You can kind of see this double bottom pattern forming. We're still consolidating between these zones. We calculate the support and resistance until we push past the zones or we fall below it. So if we fall below this, area here, then of course we recalculate it. If we push above, but right now we're still zoning, and we've been zoning in between these levels for the last 3 market days. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I did see us pre-market. We are a little bit above, getting close to this level. So I'm going to recalculate the next resistance when we get into the lower time frames. But I do see that we are pushing forward. All right, so let's look at, and remember, that's not surprising to us because our overall target is around the 454 area. We know that it does appear that we're trying to break out of this level here, this pattern right here. Okay. All right, so let's take a look at the 4-hour here. Okay, so yeah, you can kind of see the W here. That's why I like my charts to be so clean, so I can look at the candles, because not just the shape of the candles, but I can see the tug of war, plus it's clean and I can see how it moves, like the price action. And I always have zones drawn out on the lower time frames, because as soon as they break levels, I'll recalculate it to the next. And this also helps me when I get into the higher time frames. Like you can see here, we're consolidating between these here, even though 432 is technically the bottom of the flag. We're not even touching the bottom of the flag. If anything, we're bumping on the ceiling here. And remember, the more we touch the ceiling, that means that likely we are to break it. The less we touch the floor, the less likely we are to fall through it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And that's what we're doing. We keep pushing on the ceiling. That's like if you're in a building, right, and you keep pushing on the ceiling, eventually that ceiling is gonna bust, right?
Yep.
Same thing with if you never touch the floor, then more than likely you're not going to fall through the floor. But if you keep banging on the floor, then it's a sign that that it's going to fall through. And we're barely touching this floor right now, which is technically down here, 431. This is the support. This is the bottom of the flag right here, and this is the top of the flag. But you can see that we're like on top of it right now, closer to the ceiling mark. Okay, and that helps me determine strength. And this is the 1 hour. We're above the 200 MA, right? And you can see the pole here. You can kind of see the flag here a little bit in the 1 hour chart. And this is more white noise, but details matter, because now you're looking at strength, because not only is the higher time frames telling us that there's strength, but now the lower time frames is telling us there's strength too. So it appears that we're trying to break through this level here, because you can see here we sat on top of it as support, right? We came up on it, we rejected it, we're coming up on it again. Okay, now we know that this is our resistance, so we definitely want to be very cautious of this area here. But what I'm going to do is take this support out. We are going to recalculate this morning, and I'm going to put in our next resistance level here. Okay, which is about 443. Okay, so we know now where the 200 MA sits, the 439.2. This is our support. And if you remember last week when we were in the charts, we knew that 439, there was a tug of war between 439.2. It was a tug of war. And I'm like, okay, are we going to go above it or are we going to go below? We knew that if we went below it, we were going to take it down here. If we went above it, we were going to take it up, right? So now we're back above it. So now we're looking at heading up at this moment. And this is our floor. So this 439.2 is the new floor currently. Resistance 441. If we push through it, then this would be our next resistance level.
So if we push through it, we go to the 443 area.
Yeah, I'm looking here because this is a strong resistance here, even though we never really made it back up here because we fell through this 441 here.
Yeah.
So this was the last rejection here, but there is more movement around this area though. Let's look at the 4 hour and see. Because even though it rejected there, it's still not very much movement around this area. I mean, I guess over here, but there's a lot of movement here. So I think
What area is this? The 44607?
Or right here.
447? Is that what? I
No,
can't see.
443.
441.
Oh, you're talking about down here. Which area, right? The
Yeah.
or the last rejection?
Well, what I had was 443, 441, and 439. So I was trying to look to see where you were.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh,
443, 441, 439.
Oh, perfect.
Nice. So you have this 443 because I just recalculated this. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, you know your zones. I told you it becomes natural, right? Like,
yes, that's true.
Yeah. And that's the thing. When you do this every day, all the time, like it literally becomes natural. Remember when I first started doing it, you thought it was like a freaking whole nother universe.
Yeah, because when you first come across something, it's like, wait a minute, how is that possible? How did you get that?
But now you see how it's just so organic. And you don't even realize how organic it is until you start trading with other people. And when you start finding the levels and they're like, how did you find that level? Right.
Yeah,
but that takes
exactly. Like my friends would call me and ask me,
what's the next level?
Yep, to the levels.
But that takes experience. It takes determination. It takes consistency, right? Consistency is hard for people. And it's crazy because my kids know I do the show every morning, right? And they're like, Mom, how do you do that? It's so boring.
Not when it's making you money.
Exactly. And I'm like, listen, I said, y'all gotta learn how to do this stuff too, because I'm not gonna be supporting you guys forever.
That's right. And it's way cool. I mean, can you imagine having a mom who does that? They don't know how lucky, how blessed they are.
Oh, same thing. But and I, and they don't realize the importance of it now, but through action and through what they see us do, it's something that I believe, they'll gravitate towards it in the future, especially when they start to become independent.
Exactly.
They'll go back to Mom, I'm ready now. Oh yeah, it's not.
Yeah, when you give them a few dollars and let them practice and they see how they could build and make money, you'll see.
You know what's crazy? I let my kids trade gold. It was a few years back when this is when they were more like open to learn the material, because I had went over like the curriculum with them. We did like a lot of oral lessons and I was like letting them trade, and I gave them some money, and I told them to trade. And I gave them a budget and they traded gold. I think it was J-Nug at the time. This was a few years ago, and they made money. And man, if I could have just recorded the smile and the happiness on their face.
Of course, yes.
Yeah, it was a beautiful sight to see. But they have to learn this is not just a in the moment temporary satisfaction. It's long term. So you have to put in all the work. And go through the hard times too. It's always not going to be the
of
it.
All smiles and right.
Exactly. All right, so let's see. Okay, so we're right here. 435. Yeah, see, 435 is a really strong support too. And that's what I'm saying. Like, we're real strong right now, but we're still playing in this area right here. I just wanted to see what it looked like on the monthly.
All right.
And then here down the bottom, going to the top, this is the weekly. So we know that this 443 is now a new resistance, and you can see how many times it's rejected in the past. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3 times.
And normally that's all it takes sometimes.
Sometimes 3 rejections is a good sign that it's time for a break. But as we know, rejections can happen multiple times. We can't really like determine when the break is. But like you said, historically, a good 3 to 4 rejections is generally.
Watch out. You be cautious at that time.
Yeah, because that's we're not gonna be consolidating in this area forever.
Right.
So, but right now we're coming up on 441. Our next level is 443, which is our resistance. But once you get to 443, it could likely come down again. So we definitely have to be aware of this area, but we know that we've had 3 rejections prior to at the same time. All right.
Definitely.
All right. So this is our new resistance. So you can see here, if once we hit 441, we could reject, come back down, we can bust through. But here at this point, we just got to follow the zones right here in between these two. Let's take a look at SQQQ and see.
Yeah.
And QQQ. All right, so we're in between these zones here too, and you can look at this. I have not changed these zones, and for like, I don't know how long it's been, but we've been zoning in between SQQQ probably since we started.
Yep.
Oh, I have not even recalculated any of these levels, but you can see here the rejection. This was the level that we had for resistance, which was 19.7. Yep, and you can see this is the rejection wall right here. This shit don't lie, man. I'm telling you, these zones do not lie. Like, this is where we started off with. We came all the way to get close up here, came back down. This held as support, came back up, fell below, busted through it, came to the resistance level. Now we're back down here at the support. Okay, but we know overall SQQQ is weak. So if we do hold this support and we go this way, SPY will likely fall through that 441 level and take it back down to 439. If we fall through here, then that's a sign that SPY is push up. Yeah, let's look at QQQ. And these are our zones with QQQ. You see here, you don't really have to change your support and resistance, because the support and resistance will stay the same until we can get out of this zone area.
Yes, exactly.
And you can see we've been in it. So here we broke above. This is where we finally broke above, but we held it as support, right? And then we pushed to break through this wall, came back down, finally broke through it. You could see technically 1 rejection, 2 rejection, 3 rejection, breakthrough, right? Because this is the hourly chart. So this is what we're looking at. I mean, there is quite a few rejections here, but this is 1 time, technically 2 times, 3 times, because you could see that they were coming on this wall around this time, and around this time, then around this time. They kept rejecting it here, and then finally they bust through. Okay. And then now we're on this resistance wall. You could see here all of the consolidation, all of the rejections, rejection, until it finally fell through, because sometimes too many rejections could be a sign that they're going to just at some point fall hard, right? So generally 3 to 4 rejections and a breakout could occur. Or if you get hundreds of rejections, okay, that's being a little exaggerating, but if you get a lot of rejections, way too many rejections, it could be a sign that it just wants to reject altogether. Okay. And this is what happened here. We touched, but we knew this was our resistance. At the end of the day, we knew this was resistance. So if you know that this is resistance, you got to be cautious, because resistance is an area you want to take puts at. But you can see this fake out right here. This is what the stocks do. We're at a resistance, right? You got this resistance, and then you kind of fall through here. You get a breakout. If you're in the trade, you're going to be worried, because now you're above this level. But look how this messes with you psychologically.
Yeah.
And then down, because here, like for me, if I'm in this trade, I would have got out up here, but it's still a good trade. So you can always enter back, and you can see, okay, it's falling through this wall again. And then you can see here, it doesn't want to burst through. This could be an opportunity to get back in. But this would have been a fake out. Fake out right here. But anyway, you can see rejection. Now we're back down here. We're still above the 200 MA though. We're above the 200 MA. We do have some money flow coming in. Let's look at the 4-hour. Yeah, we're above this support here. So if we don't hold this, we know we're coming back down to 361. If we hold this, then this is our next level of 370. But you can see 370 in the past has been there's been rejections, rejection over here, rejection over here. So if we get up here, then you got to be careful. But remember, at some point we do break these patterns, but we do have to understand that it is our resistance level, just like with SPY. Once we get up here to 370, that's your SPY's 443 area. Okay, so we're either going to take it down or we're going to go up. and we could consolidate for the day. I mean, a SPY, we do analyze SPY every day because a lot of people have a hard time analyzing SPY. But the reason why I take on SPY is because it's a challenge. Because I'm telling you, if you can get SPY down, all the other stocks are like easy to analyze. It's SPY that gets tricky, right?
Yeah.
So, and here, and even though this is QQQ, but they kind of move a lot similar. And you can see here that yesterday how they closed above this support level here. And you can see this wick here shows me that buyers are still trying to keep it up.
Right.
Buyers are still trying to keep it up, and we're still above it right now. Okay, we're still above it right now. Now, if for some reason pre-market we fall below this level, then that could be an indication we want to take it down. If we can open above this level here, this is an indication it wants to take it up. Now, these are indications. It doesn't necessarily mean that that's what's going to happen, because as an analyst, you're not a psychic, you're an analyst. So what we do is, right, we kind of predict what is more probable based on the movements, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I think you're a psychic sometimes.
I know, right?
Hey, Londell, I didn't even see you come in. Ruth, why didn't you tell me?
That was his way of announcing his presence.
My drive. Hey, Ruth.
Hey, Rondell.
How are you doing this morning, Londell?
I am good. I'm just getting back from vacation, so back in Florida. I was in the Bahamas for a week.
Oh, fun stuff.
Yeah, so now I'm back on the grind.
Getting back in routine.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So to me, as long as we can stay above this 200 MA and stay above this support by open, this is less likely to keep going up. But again, guys, this is a real tough resistance area right here. Let's look at it on the weekly. Yep. You can see here, even on the weekly, you can see that rejection, 1, 2, 3. And like I said, it moves a lot like SPY. So it's kind of the same pattern here, because you can see the consistency. You see the pole, the flag, the breakout, the flag, the pole, the flag again. And I feel like we have one more time to do it. One more time. And for QQQQ, this is your next support level here, which is 382. So with SPY, it's 354. With SQQQ, it's 382, because if you break out here, that's your, and let's do the calculation on it, okay? Because this is the flag right here. So I'd say from, let's do it like, let me clear this. All right, I'd say this is maybe, let's take it here, because this is kind of like this is where the breakout, this is kind of where the breakout started, because you can see the support here and here, and then you got the top here. All right, so this is 357 to 370. So what's that calculation? 50, 57, 67. So that's about $13, right? So let's take this here, this 369 to, we said about 382, right? Oh, shoot. It's not easy. It's not easy.
Looks like a pen's patrolling.
All right, I just want to see what it looks like. Oh, let's remove that here. Okay, yeah, 382. And I'll show you why I chose 382. I haven't even did the calculation yet. But the reason why I chose 382, because it was resistance here, and then it held support here, here.
Fell through.
And this is when it fell through. Yeah, and you can see how it closed.
Resistance again.
Right? Here was a fake out, because it did open up below this level, and then it pushed back through. Here, it closed below this level, came here. This was kind of like your fake out here, but this was your confirmation. This is one right here. All right, so let's do the calculation. So we said about $13, right? So this is 370 to 383. I swear to God, y'all, I did not Okay, 382 is $12, but still, like, you see how accurate it is?
Yeah, yeah,
It's insane.
definitely.
I didn't even,
Yeah.
I on purpose, I was like, I'm not even gonna think about the calculation in my head because I wanted to look at the levels first.
Yeah, you wanted to let it play out.
Yeah, because people that can't find the levels, you can use this calculation here if you're not, good with finding the support and resistance. But for you guys that are strong in finding these levels, I want you to find the levels first and then do the calculation, because you want to get your eye good for these areas, because it'll help you out even in the lower time frames. It helps you learn how to find your levels, especially if you're day trading. And then you can, once it becomes second nature for you, you can trade however you want, right? You could trade, you could day trade, you could swing trade, it doesn't matter as long as you have the basic concept, right? So this is about $12 here. This is about $13. So, and you can see that this was the last consolidation period. So once the breakout occurs, it's going to touch the top here. And this is where I feel like it's going to be a lot of resistance in the market. And you can even see how overbought we are on the weekly. Okay. We're very overbought on the weekly. Once we get up here, we already know at some point what comes up must come down. I don't know how far it's going to come down, but once we get to this level, we know it's a very, very strong resistance point. Okay. And once we get here, if we do make it, if we can break out of this flag, which you can see here, there are signs. Look at this: ceiling, 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 and trying to come up on the ceiling again. We haven't touched the floor many times since we first broke. We broke this week. We didn't even touch the floor the second week. We came down to the floor the third week. But last week and right now, we're still on the top of the ceiling, trying to bust through the top. And this is indications for me for strength, because I see that the buyers are up here and the sellers they can't touch us right now.
Yeah, exactly.
And we're looking at on the weekly chart, guys. So this is a little higher than like the daily and the lower time frames, but this is giving me perception on the strength, right? Because when we can see what the strength is, then once we get to the lower time frames, we can understand why we can't even touch the freaking support levels, right? That's why we couldn't even get back to 435. We got to 437 and then we started taking off again. But when you understand the strength, then you understand that that's, you know what I mean? That's why that's happening. All right, so let's put our levels back here. I don't even remember what the numbers are, but this is what I'm saying. When you get your eye conditioned to finding these levels, and it just makes it easier as a trader. And I looked at is just like this area, you can see a lot of movement over here, with the support. Then you had it here as support. It broke. This was your resistance, right? It broke that level. Let's go back. And you can't really see. Let's take a look at it on the 4 hour. You always want to confirm too, just to make sure, because you can see more on the higher time frames. And so this level here, see how it was resistance here, and then it was like playing around in this area. And then this one that we have what is this? Yeah, this was support around here, resistance here, support here. So those are good levels. All right. Okay, so we're above the 200, and you can even see the strength pre-market. See the sellers trying to put, and this is just the hour. It's a lot of white noise, but details matter. You can see how the sellers tried to push it back down to the 200 MA. And remember, we talked about if it opens up below this level, more than likely it's going to take it down. If it opens up above, we're more likely going to bring it up, right? And you can see that the buyers are trying to keep it above this level. And I could see the strength in the market earlier too. When I'm looking at the patterns, I'm looking at where the candles are, I'm looking at how we're trying to open, I can see strength in the market, right?
Yeah.
And this is kind of like a pole right here. And you can see that this was the flag. So bursting above this level is definitely signs that it wants to take it to the next resistance.
But tomorrow there's a bunch of stuff coming out, right, Londell? So
Yeah, that's why we need you to get into the catalyst so you can explain it to us.
Right, yeah. There's an F4MC speaker speaking right now, and it's not affecting the markets. It's like it's still SPY is still like it's still at 440, and it went up a little bit.
Yeah.
Normally,
Delayed reaction.
I don't know. We can watch, but they speak at this started at 8:30.
And that's all we have today?
Yeah, they have an auction. They have a 3-year auction, note auction,
Okay.
and that's about it.
Not important. But
Energy,
tomorrow there's a
short-term.
bunch of stuff.
They have a short-term energy outlook at 12 o'clock.
Mild. But tomorrow, did you see tomorrow's calendar? There's a whole bunch of stuff.
Oh wow. Okay.
Important stuff coming out.
Yeah, tomorrow is CPI.
Yeah.
Yeah, over here. Kashkari speaking again. 10-year auction. A lot of Fed members speaking and CPI. Yeah, tomorrow's going to be fun. Right. That's why I think today might be a little bullish.
And
I'm
me
actually
too.
seeing some bullish
too.
sentiment, yeah, on the lower time frames. I don't know, it could just be, we could just continue with this consolidation, getting to the 443 and then rejecting it over here, right? And consolidating still between these zones, not necessarily breaking it out. Because once we get here, even if we consolidate between these zones, as long as we can stay ahead, then we're still in a good pace. But right now we're here. So even if we take it up to 443 without the rejection, without busting through,
Right.
I wouldn't be surprised either. But if we bust through, I really wouldn't be surprised if we bust through, because we know our next resistance is 454 and we have a lot of strength in the market. So even if we push above this level here, like pretty soon, I mean, at some point we're going to pull back, but we're still showing some strength, at least until we get there.
Yeah, because like Londell was saying, it appears to, and sometimes that happens like before, if we have a lot of catalysts for the next day, the day before, they try to push up the market. So I'm looking at the Wednesday's tomorrow's calendar, and we have consumer price index, we have CPI, we have Atlanta's Fed speaking, and then we have Richmond Fed president speaking, and something about the federal beige book. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of significant.
It could be two things. We could reject, or we could push past above, depending on if the catalyst is going to affect us or not. Because a lot of times catalysts will affect us like strong, right?
Yeah.
In either direction. So yeah,
Sorry, Des, are you able to check Rivian, RIVN for me?
Yep. Yeah, I'll do that one next. Let me talk about Apple right quick, and then we'll do things next.
Okay.
Look here. Yeah, look here on the daily, and look, this is the support for Apple right here from the next level. See this resistance here where it was trying to break 1, 2, 3, trying to break through this resistance, and you can see how they kept rejecting, and then finally they broke out. Well, Apple just pulled back down to this level. I mean, I do see them pointing down here, but Apple's so strong, they could like kind of curve back up. I'm not sure what Apple wants to do unless they take it back to this resistance, reject it again until they fall through and want to really pull back here. But it's kind of hard to tell with them because they got so much strength here. But what I do know is they're out of support right now on the daily. Okay, so 188, let's look at the lower time frames with them. Here, so we're back here at this resistance, and then once we get here, even if we get here and reject, we will create higher lows. This is a higher, this is lower, and if we reject here, it would be lower. I don't know if we can maintain it though, because if we fall below this level, like we're pulling back again, we're coming down a little bit. Like I could see us, I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest.
Right.
If we go ahead and, because remember 194 was the target on the higher time frame. So this could definitely be a rejection level, like a resistance on the higher time frames. If it's a rejection or a resistance on the higher time frame, I could see Apple pulling back more gradually. Like you can see here, even in the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, they brought it all the way back to support. If they fall through this level, I see them going down.
Ooh.
but we need it because
Yeah.
look at this freaking, look at all this. You know what I mean? So this would be your next, this is your next support for Apple here on the higher time frames. If they can't hold these levels here, if they can't hold these levels, and look at it, look, I mean, look how they're going now, but if they can't hold it, this would be your next level, 177.9. If they're rejecting this 194.48, and this is where they pull back at, because remember, they'll hit a high.
Right.
They'll keep going until it's time to pull back. So if this is the pullback of the 194.48, if this is it, you're looking at 177 as the next support. And if you look at it here, it's about right there.
Right. But if SPY runs, chances are Apple might change direction.
Yeah, if SPY runs, then Apple could possibly change direction. Yes, but even like sometimes what I notice too a lot is Apple don't always necessarily run with SPY, because Apple sometimes like it's like they're ahead of the curve. I don't know if you noticed that, but sometimes Apple will run first before SPY, and they'll have
that's absolutely true.
Same thing with the pullbacks. They'll go first, and then SPY will come behind them. So it's kind of like they're leading.
Exactly. Yeah.
You notice that too? Yeah.
Yeah. And well, I was thinking, I mean, it's one of the top stocks in SPY, so you know it's bound to have some weight.
Yeah, Apple and Tesla, they move the market.
Yeah. Yep, and that's why I always look at Apple, because Apple generally tells me what SPY is going to probably do. They always move first. Yeah, they always move first. And if you ever notice, Apple will take off because, like, let's take a look at that. So let's go into the monthly, right? Apple took off around here. Which month was this? This was in the end of last year, right? But I'd say they technically broke around April, right? See that? SPY broke in June. Let me show y'all.
Well, I remember when Apple was trying to break 150, and that was going to be the determining factor.
Yeah, it's just hold above it. Yeah, you remember. And look, this is June right here, and you can see that they were consolidating here. March, April, May, trying to push above. Not a lot of movement, but still squeezing up in here. And then June, boom, they took off. Apple took off in April, which was a few months before. And let me see. Let's look at that 150 level. That 150 level was down here. Remember, we kept freaking holding on to this level for freaking ever. And we're like, yo. And I was like, if we can stay above the 150, it's more chances we can keep going. But if we fall below this 150, it's no good. And you can see it here. Yeah. So yeah, nice observation. That's why I always look at Apple, guys. Like even kind of look at Apple like I look at SPY, because Apple kind of showed us a little bit where we're heading. Yep, because it's like they move a little quicker first, right? So SQQQ is inverse of SPY. So it tells you like it's in opposition, right? QQQ and SQQQ is in direct opposition, but QQQ follows SPY in terms of patterns, but Apple is generally a little bit ahead of the game. So that's why I look at all of those to kind of see where the rotation of the market is going, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, what was your stock, Londell?
Then I'll
Rivian.
Done.
Rivian, RIVN.
Right.
Tesla's rival.
Tesla's rival. Yeah, they beat expectations yesterday, and so they had a huge,
oh really?
Yeah.
I could see their little move that they just made here.
This stock there, I couldn't believe it.
They got above this level here. See this? This was a support level that they were falling below. The only thing is they're below the 200 MA.
Yeah, it's like, will it ever get back up there?
Yeah, but they're coming up though. This is pointing up. Let's look at the daily. Oh, they got some strength here. They're
Londell. Yeah. Trying to play.
I expected a pullback.
Why, you want to enter?
Yeah, I'm in. I got in yesterday.
Are you in calls or puts?
Put. I went on a put because I was aggressive run up on earnings.
This is a possible reversal here, but the resistance is more stronger here at 28.4. So this candle could determine, but I can see what you're looking at. This is way overbought here, but this could determine two things. So you know this is a doji, right? So this can be a reversal or it can be a continuation. Let's take a look and see where we're at right now. All right, so this is where we closed at. We closed here. But this is really your resistance area, but we could pull back before we get there. But that's the resistance on the higher time frames. You see right here,
Yeah.
how it's holding as support. On the
Yeah, 28. Yeah.
Yeah. But let's take a look at where we're at now. So we have this doji here. Okay, we're below it. Oh yeah, we're weak. 15 minute. Well, 15 minute is weak. 1 hour is weak. Okay. Yeah, we're weak. I can see. And if we open up below this level, more than likely it's going to take it down. This is going to be your next support area here. About 22.6. But be careful because it'll probably pull back so that we can cool off on these lower time frames here because we're still overbought. But the resistance on the higher time frame is up here. So even if it starts to consolidate between these zones, it could pick back up because you see this burst here. You got this flag, you got this burst here. So just be careful because the strength is insane with them right now. And this is technically your next strong resistance on the higher time frame. But right now, it does look like they want to pull back. So this is probably one you don't want to hold too long.
Definitely 1 day. I was looking for I was hoping it was grabbing yesterday, but I'm hoping that they pull back today, take profits.
Yeah, and I can see the fighting yesterday, and that's what that doji is here. The doji is the buyers and sellers fighting for control. But when we talk about a doji is good. So this could be resistance here. It's good that we created a doji yesterday because there's a decision trying to be made. So again, a doji can represent it can represent a continuation, right? So if we open up here, it could take it to the next level. If we open up below, it could take it down here, right? This was the support on the higher time frames. Let's take these out. Oh, we'll keep this though. But and these are more of like, what is the ATR up here? Do you know what the ATR is on this stock?
Rivian.
Yeah.
I think Rivian fell from grace, so the ATR must be real low now. Right, Londell?
Yeah, I don't have it open. I can't tell what the ATR is.
Let's see.
But I think, yeah, I can't tell right now.
I'll look at it in just a second here. All right, so this is 25.56, 22, and 28.
Uh, 1.49 is the ATR.
1.49.
ATR was 14 before. Let me see.
1.49.
Let me.
Oh yeah, because that's because if you look at the consolidation for the last couple of days, before the breakout.
Yeah, it was. Let's see. Let me.
And this is your resistance. Let's do that's on the daily. Let's, because if it's lower, we're going to recalculate it because we want to look at. It's just that their freaking moves.
But they're still showing it at. Oh no, that's the RSI. Sorry.
Well, the thing is,
they're still showing the ATR. So the ATR is now no, there's a value. What do you mean? 1.61.
1.61. It's just that there's no real movement around. It's because you know what it is? It's because their moves have been so high lately. See this here? I mean, even above it, you don't really have no real action above it. So there's really no action above this level here. Let's try to do it on the weekly. You can't really see, there's been no action since over here. And I can see why it's low because of all of this movement. There hasn't been much movement for a long
Yeah, is that like a consolidation? It looks like
yeah.
it's
We're just consolidating for a long time. So that's
yeah,
why
I mean, not really making any moves. So this here is a big move here. So now it's consolidating in between these zones right here. That's why it's so hard to find the levels because there's no
Yeah.
action, right? And the last time there was action over here, it went straight down, boom, because it fell below this level here. This is all the consolidation that we just seen on the weekly. See all this movement here? So this was a massive move for them compared to
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's a
Yeah.
real massive move.
so these and so this is here. Oh, good job, Wanda. Look at this. Pre-market, it's coming down. I would just say be careful. 24.
Yeah.
Let's just do this. Okay, so let's do here, since this is some recent movement here.
Yeah.
24.68, 25.49. Damn, I don't even know how. What's the next level down? Jeez,
Exactly.
no freaking movement. Let's just calculate. Let's just do the calculations then. If this here is 25.4, 24.7, so we're gonna go 23.8.
This has been moving like $3, like a little between $2.50 and $3 in the past 2 to 3 days. So.
And that's what we have
Because
as
of
our,
the spike in the movement.
but we're gonna play safe because we want to do the calculations on the ATR.
Yeah.
So what I would do, because all I did was I calculated it because there's not really a lot of movement. This is
Exactly.
the most recent movement we got. So we'll use this here. And then we went down about $1 or whatever in order to make it to the next move. Because remember, overall, they're very strong. So we have to be careful not to hold too long. So this is one level, and then this would be your next level. Because even if they move it here with the ATR at about 1.4, this is still a good profit to take, even right here. Yeah, so yeah, nice little entry there you got.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Can we look at Google too before you go?
Yep. And this here, and you can see here, pay attention though, because if we get some momentum and we open up above this level, be careful, because it might want to take it to the next resistance on the higher time frames. So, and then they got a lot of strength. So, it's better to get out. And even if it's good, just get back in, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, right back up and down.
All right. So what's this Google is GOO.
GOO, yeah. G, yes.
Okay. Let's clear all this out. Just scribbling all this toddler stuff.
They had a pullback. I'm trying to wait to get to enter and write them back up.
Okay, so right now this is our support, which is 114, 114.16. Next support, if it didn't hold, is 108.06. Now let's look at them here. Okay. Because this is a pretty strong support. It's coming back up down on, but you can see the downside is pretty heavy right now with Google.
Yeah, exactly.
So if they don't hold this, we're looking at the next level down here. And this is a real strong area right here. If you look at it here, you can see this was the last breakout. This is where they broke out. So this, if they come back down here, this is the area they're testing as new support, right? Because it was resistance prior. And we're looking at the weekly. So this is a few months of it being resistance. Remember when it fell, it was holding at support in the same level for some time, consolidating, broke above, then fell. Now they're coming back up on it again. So let's see where they are on the lower time frames.
I think they what one.
Oh yeah, we're heading down, baby. Yeah. Yeah, we're heading down. This is likely, this is likely for Google, the 108.24. You definitely want to wait to see if we can hold this area.
Definitely.
But just the way that we're looking here, we're looking real pretty.
I'm hoping it goes down to 108.
This is a nice buy entry right here.
Yes, and then I could write it back up. Yeah,
and it's cheaper.
Oh shoot, why do you think I'm waiting?
Yeah, we're below the 200 MA now, guys. We're below, because look how long we've been above the 200 MA. See this? Above, consolidating, breaking. Now we're below it. If we stay below the 200 MA, we take it here, more than likely we're taking it back to the next.
Yeah, so then you could take a long call. They're good for long calls. Yeah. 108.
I mean, we may get a little bit of movement up, but I think it'll be temporary. See, because this is your support here, and we're kind of oversold here. So it's kind of like SQQQ, right? You get momentum, but it doesn't last too long because we're pulling back right now with Google.
Right. So the two
And we're
entries I have is 114 and 108, just in case, it doesn't go through.
yeah, because we're at 116 right now. So
Right.
if it falls below this level, yeah, 114 is going to be your next area. But if
I
114,
like your two entry approach. I like that approach.
Yeah, so if it goes
First
below
entry, second entry.
114, then I know 108 is my
exactly. Because if we fall here at 116, 114 is going to be your next entry. And if 114 don't hold, then like you said, 108. We're coming
Right.
into oversold, so there may be a little bit of consolidation. And
Yeah.
remember, it consolidates between the levels before it falls, right? And right now, we're more dominant in the downside. You could see here, when we broke below this 200 MA, this is when we started making lower lows, right?
Right.
Because you broke here, right? And then you created this low, came back up, it couldn't hold, it rejected it, it created another low. Now you're up here again, and you've been trying to bust through this 200 MA, it kept rejecting it, and now this is back at this tip here, but you can see there's more movement here. You see how it just tipped here? The sellers came, pushed it back, but the buyers pushed it back up. So more of your movement was around here. Now more of your movement is right here. So these are lower. This is a lower, this is a low, this is a lower low. And technically this is a lower low because it's more movement. So falling below this level is likely, you might have your upswings, up here getting to the resistance before it rejects again and so forth, but we're more likely to head down because I seen it in the higher time frames. Like this is very bearish right now. And you can see how these were the support and resistance that we created, but we're literally touching here. So we can't hold this 116. Yeah, the next level here is the 114.
Okay.
Sometimes I wish the market has a stop and rewind button.
Yes. Yes.
And you can even see here, like even the daily is trash. Like we're below the 50. We're pointing down right now. You got this big red candle yesterday. Sellers are in control of Google right now. I mean, not overall, but right now anyway.
But if it goes back to the 108, so it might be right for a cup and handle pattern right there. So then we have a breakout, right?
Well, right here.
Yeah.
It's back down here.
Yeah.
Yeah, this right. Well, yeah, this is a level that because this was a breakout level. So remember when you have breakouts, eventually you'll hit the high, right? Which we hit the high of 129 and
and come right back down.
Retest. Yep. But it retests the level now, and we're looking at the higher time frames. We're retesting the level as now new support because this resistance right here, resistance for a long time because we
exactly.
Broke out. We hit our highs. We've been consolidating. So coming back down to retest the level as new support now is is actually healthy.
Yeah, exactly.
Good because
and an opportunity for another bullish pattern.
Opportunity to recreate another bullish patterns. And let's take a look at that. If we get down to that level, what would it look like? All right, so let's start here. Here, this is your low, which is at 90, right? And then this is here to your high. Say you reject here. You come back down. This is to 108.
Yeah.
Up here.
Double bottom.
This could be, this is a really short tip though, but I mean.
It happens.
It could be more of a flag. Look at this. Hold on. Let's look at it from this perspective.
I see what you said, like a bullish flag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to look at the pattern that's going to draw because I am looking at the levels though, like the levels, like the support and resistance level here. Primarily here is where it's showing me, but like you said, it could look, it's a bullish flag. So, because we're right here, this is the breakout, right? So we're right here. So coming back down here, as support would be nice if we can get this low. I mean, we may only take it to 114. That's why I said just
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yes.
Hold
But that's
it.
still a $6 for Google. That's a lot. A $6 move. I mean, that would be nice on a contract.
You know, I did a Ruth, have you ever used the Fibonacci retracement tool?
No, and I wanted to get into that, but you know,
Yeah,
like I'm like
it's-
Desiree, I don't do too much.
But it's very easy if you choose the drawing tool. If you choose
Uh-huh.
the drawing tool, and then you choose the Fibonacci retracement, you take it. You basically put the bottom at the low of the. You could say if you're looking at a week,
Uh-huh.
right? You could do the low, or if you're looking at the daily, you could do the low point on the daily on the last run, and the high point, and it basically just tracks the level. Just click on the drawing tool.
Oh. I was about to say maybe Desiree could let you demonstrate
Yeah,
that one
click
day.
on the drawing. Yeah, click on the drawing tool, and then choose drawing tools, and then over to the right. Scroll down on the left ones, the left side, and you'll see. Hold on, right there. Click that one, right, and then go over to. Let's say take that low point. Where is it? Where's the last low point? Right to the bottom there.
114?
Yeah.
The 108 or
The
the
low-
114?
The 108, the low point, the low, the
Oh,
and
yeah.
then take it all the way up to the high point. To the high.
Oh,
Well, let me go
And
higher.
then,
so it
yeah,
draws it, it draws it out.
take it up to the high point where it says 129. Is that 129? And then click.
It won't let me go high.
It won't let you click it.
It won't let me go higher. Oh, right here.
Okay.
This line,
just
right here.
click
Sorry,
it.
this line. Oh, okay, my bad. I was right here.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the high point.
and click it.
Yeah, and see it automatically puts the levels in for you.
Oh, you kidding?
Yeah,
Mhm.
and you can do it on any run, or you could take it from a high point and go back down to a low, and it basically drops the levels in. So, and the levels tend to line up with the manual levels that Desiree does.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. I haven't really I've seen a lot of people using it, and
Yeah,
I've
me
a couple
too.
times, but I'm like, you know what? I think my own levels are more accurate, but I like this here.
Yeah.
yours are
Well,
accurate.
it's easy, Des. It's
Well, you
easy.
can confirm too. Like you can draw your levels and have it
Yes.
synced, and then you can take the Fibonacci and do it, and then confirm
Correct.
the levels.
Correct. Yes.
I need to know more. When you went to drawing tools, what was the tool that you clicked? Did it say Fibonacci?
Yeah, it's the one on the left here.
Yeah, it says Fibonacci
Like the
retracement.
percent sign right
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So you can take it from the bottom, the low, all the way to a high of a run, and then it retraces the whole. It just sets your level. So if it starts to come back down, you know it's going to hit those levels, or if it
And
starts
right
to go
now,
back
this was the level that it just calculated, and this is
Yes,
the one we said,
exactly. This
116.
116.
Now
And
this
then
one
as it
has
goes
114.12 instead of 140. Oh, because
yeah. So that means because there's a gap there to
there's a
fill.
gap. See, I was looking on the lower time frames, right, to determine that 114 level because of right here.
Yes, the gap. Yeah.
Oh no, this is where's 114. Oh, where we said 114, right?
But 112 is even lower. So
Yeah, 112 is
I would rather be safer, like looking at 114.
Oh, I said 114 because of over here. I was looking at more
yes,
because we
but
have
that's
high power.
safer. That's playing it safer. So I like that.
Yeah, 114. Yeah, this here. I was looking over here at the previous history. But yeah, Fibonacci says 112, and then from 112 here is
yeah,
but this, if we don't hold this over here, homie, this is the next level down. That's a big move on Google, which 108 makes sense because we have 108. We said 108, which is right. Actually, we said 108, which is right here. Fibonacci got it big. Yeah, that's why.
Yeah,
exactly. Levels, and then use Fibonacci to confirm, and then kind of gauge, right? But like you said, you want to take less risk, so
exactly. So I would rather be safe than sorry. So my thing is like because 114, what was it? 116 to 114. That's still a lot, you know.
That's $2.
So shoot.
Yeah.
And with Google, $2 movement is
And you can even put your 114 in the middle, and then if it don't pass the 114, you can use the 112 for the next level, because before you get in, you need to make sure that you get signs of reversal. Because remember,
Right.
you're not going to reverse
Mm-hmm.
once because it's primarily in a pullback, but you're not going to reverse until you get signs of reversal. And normally your signs of reversal will come in on the daily. So you'll get a doji, or you'll get like a little ignition candle or something that's going to indicate we're reversing. Like here, this was a doji. So you see how we had this big red candle, but the next day we created a doji, then another doji, and we started coming up a little bit until we pulled back down. But this was kind of like a big, this is also an indication sellers are in when you get big ass candles like this. So this was a big candle for me to tell me, to show me that, okay, sellers are here. Sellers are here.
Exactly. So it's on the
So even here, this, you see how this pullback came, but this is a reversal here. This is a reversal candle coming back up. So you want to get a sign that's showing that you want to reverse. But like I said, this candle yesterday just showed me that sellers are dominant right now. And you can even see on the daily we're pointing down. So, yeah. So with Google, we just got to be patient though.
I am watching.
Using this
I'm watching
it in the show now. Thank you, Linda.
I know I'm watching it
No
because
problem.
I've made a lot of money with Google, so I'm watching it again to see if I could get. But there's what like using your strategy, like what I would do if I'm buying, like, say, more than one contract. Let's say you're buying 10 contracts, so I would 116 to 114. I would get off with most of my contracts at 114 and leave a few runners.
Yeah, so that's the thing. You always want to shave. So if you're gonna buy, that's the thing about swing trading, guys. If you're gonna buy expensive contracts and you're gonna go out, you want to always take house money. Okay, so with your target, so say you get in, you know, around 112, we start to turn, right? You're gonna take your house money at around here. Now, if you want to hold for it to come up to the next level, then you can, maybe one contract, but always take house money. So you always, with swing trading, you always want to shave. You always want to shave. You never try to hold all the way from the top to the bottom. You go halfway to the halfway mark, you get most of your, you go ahead and sell off, you take your profit, you get your house money, and then you can let the other one run, because even if it doesn't go in the right direction, you still already make
risk free.
profit.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. Shaving is like very vital in swing trading. You don't always want to try to take it all the way to the top. That's not how most swing traders trade. They shave, trust me. And then once they shave off and they take their house money, if it falls and that one that they let run doesn't make it, they wait for it to fall, then they take some more and they grab a few more. And then as it goes up again, they shave off, and then, you know, so forth. So that's the thing about swinging, because you have too much money that you're investing in. You don't want to try to take it all the way from the bottom to the top. You need to take your money as it goes. Right? But yeah, so that's good, Ruth. Nice. But yeah, so yeah, Google,
those are the valuable lessons we learned from you too.
Well, I learned a lot from you guys too, just like, you know. But right now, here with Google, I wouldn't take any call entries yet. I don't think it's right. I think the bears are still in control with Google. I think with Londell's, the bears are coming in a little temporary, but they're very bullish right now. So you want to be like very short with them, But it's good because they're on the lower time frames, they're becoming exhausted. So, you know, we could be hitting up on a resistance level right now. It's just there hasn't been a lot of movement in this area with them for a long time, because they've been consolidating real low for quite a bit.
Yeah, exactly.
But overall with SPY, guys, like in the markets this morning, we have, you know, some strength here. Let's see where we're at right now. So we had any movement with them since we kind of went away. Yeah, they got strength. You can even see here, this is the next open of the candle, which is right here on top. Like they opened above this level. I mean, we're talking about like micro stuff. I'm looking at small details now, right? Yeah, so here was technically your resistance level on, you know what I mean? Like with previous movement here, we opened up above it, and now we're above it again. So like more likely we're trying to come up to this next level, which is 441. This is a resistance, but if we break through it, then you know your next level is up here. We did reject over here last time, but this was what you call a fake out. So it only got up here and then in the middle and then boom. You see how hard the fall was because it was a fake out. So we got to be careful with these fake outs too. But technically this is the next level because this is stronger. And you can look at it on the weekly. See, rejection, 443. This is the real resistance. And we do appear to be drawing a nice little W here. So once we get here, we'll probably reject if we can hold this level of 441 or 440, this next level, and start consolidating between this level. It'll be a small flag until we, boom, take it up, okay? I do feel like we're gonna take it up, but once we do take it up, once we do break out to the next level, I think it's gonna become exhausted. I think we're gonna, at that point, we need to really get out of positions and observe the market and, you know, see where we're heading, because it's probably going to be a pullback that we feel, meaning there's going to be a lot of red days. Awesome. Wow, guys, it's 9:10. That's crazy.
Are you serious? Oh,
no. You get into the stuff and don't stop.
Yeah.
All right,
All
guys.
right. Thank you, Des. I gotta run. Take care. Enjoy.
Okay,
See you.
Alonda.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye. My goodness.
Yeah, that's what it is when you get in here. It's crazy.
Yeah, that was it. But I'm glad we learned something interesting, the Fibonacci retracement.
Fibonacci. Yeah, I know a lot of traders who use it. I just never really like got into it because I was trying to create my own levels. But you know what? It's good to use it as confirmation too. Yeah. Confirmation of what you found, because remember, we confirm everything. We confirm
exactly
QQQ was SPY. We confirm Apple was SPY. We look at other stocks to see where they're at, to see, you know what I mean, like where the market is going. So adding it to your, adding it is
yes, I just thought it was interesting because it does the work for you. So it kind of boosts your confidence when you see, your levels
are almost accurate, right?
Yes. It's not even about almost. They were right on the money in the sense that because they did it on the daily, and we did it on the lower time frames, and the numbers drop on the lower time frames, like so like the moves.
And it's good. And I think you've had enough experience of drawing out your own levels to where you're not going to solely depend on it. You know what I mean?
Oh, definitely. Oh, no, that's only information. Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to let you go. Have a good morning, and I'll see you tomorrow.
You too, Desiree. Thank you.